Hey guys, Matt Creedon here. Welcome to the Afterbath Sessions. Before I tell you about this week's 1 hour 92 Gamma sound bath, I want to share an experience that left a big mark on me because it really shows you what this frequency feels like. I remember one time I went for a run after a long period of meditation. Most likely, I didn't drink enough water. And after a shower, I could feel a headache coming on. And from past runs, I knew that kind of ache usually comes from dehydration. So I tried to rehydrate. I took care of myself. But as the day went on, the headache got much, much worse. By the afternoon, I thought maybe a walk might help. Some fresh air might help to clear it, but it didn't. Things went from bad to worse. I could barely shuffle a few meters before I had to stop, shut my eyes and hold my head. The pain was so strong. I had to cut the walk short and head for home. Back at home, I went straight to bed and I realized something important. The headache wasn't just the physical discomfort. It was my resistance to it. The more I tried to push it away, the heavier it became. The moment I completely accepted it, not fighting, not resisting, the pain melted away instantly, like someone flicked a switch. 1 second I was grimacing in bed. The next I was up on my feet, full of energy. The headache never returned. That shift showed me something undeniable. When we resist discomfort, we create a second layer of suffering on top of the first. But when we surrender, when we accept things exactly as they are, the struggle dissolves, and with it, so does much of the pain. And that, to me, is what 92 Hertz feels like. It's the frequency of acceptance. It softens the body. It invites surrender. It helps you to release the false idea that you need to be in control of everything. Because let's be honest, none of us truly understand everything that's happening around us or even within us. The mind loves to tell stories, and sometimes those stories cause us more harm than good. But in the space of not knowing, of opening your arms and saying, I surrender, I accept, there's freedom, there's comfort, there's relief. This is what 92 Hertz does. It doesn't demand effort. It supports you when there's no energy left to prop up the false narratives. It feels warm, safe, and inviting. Like a reminder that you don't need to fight. You can soften, you can let go, and you can simply be. That's not being weak. It takes much more courage to acknowledge that, hey, I could be wrong. And that's okay. It's totally fine to be wrong. So why 92 Hertz? Well, frequencies have personalities, and if 80 Hertz feels like razor sharp focus, then 92 Hertz feels like the frequency of relief. It soothes first, then sharpens the mind. Gamma waves are the fastest of our brain rhythms, linked with learning, memory, recall, and creative flow. The 92 Hertz range, in particular, has this balancing quality. It softens tension in the nervous system, and from that softer ground, focus and inspiration can take root. To me, it's like the body exhales and the mind suddenly has room to breathe. The bowl I used here is tuned to around about 92 Hertz, which is kind of obvious. It's strong and steady, but what sets it apart is how it sustains. It doesn't just ring, it carries. The resonance fills space with a richness that feels less like a note and more like a presence. Every time I play it, I notice how it anchors awareness. The sound isn't wallpaper, it's the guide. It asks you to notice, to listen, and to let go. It's quite remarkable. So, why do I record in Ambisonics? Well, there's a traditional practice of placing a bowl upside down on your head and wearing it a bit like a helmet and letting the vibration flood through the skull. The effect is extraordinary. It feels as though the sound becomes a part of you. It literally vibrates from the top of your head all the way down your neck into your chest cavity. You can feel it all the way down to your feet. It's incredible. But not everyone has a bowl large enough for that. And even if you do, it's heavy and a little risky. And that's why I record these sessions with an Ambisonic microphone. Now, for the people out there who are interested in knowing what type of microphone I use, it's a Soyuz 013. Let me put it this way. It's expensive and it sounds amazing. So if you're looking for an Ambisonic microphone, I can highly recommend it. So Ambisonics captures sound in full 3D, all around, not just left and right, but front and back as well. When you listen with headphones, it feels as though your head is literally inside the bowl itself. It gives you that same immersive worn by sound, worn as in you're wearing a coat, worn by sound experience, but safely and wherever you happen to be. So whether it's on a bus or on a train, you're not going to look like a dill wearing a bowl on your head. You can just have your headphones on, right? The first time I played back the 92 hertz recording, the sounds seemed to expand in every direction at once, like being suspended inside resonance itself. It's incredibly immersive. The experience of recording, this one was less about dreamy drifting and more about release into focus. I noticed that after a few strikes, my shoulders unclenched, and from there, everything else sharpened. Every sound became vivid, the subtle harmonics, the breath between tones. It reminds me of a meditation session where you begin restless, but as soon as the tension starts to dissolve, the attention blooms naturally. And that's the magic of this bowl. It clears the ground so the mind can stand tall and still. So, how to use this sound bath? This session is best for releasing tension and discomfort. So, whether it's a headache or you've got some type of physical pain, this is a good one. Deep study or work that requires concentration, learning, reading, it's quite unintrusive. You can do quite a lot of things while listening to this. It's quite good. Creative flow in writing, music or art. Yeah, if you're writing music, you could always jam along to the track. Be really good. Or if you're painting, whatever. Meditation when you need clarity and balance. Mood resets when you're stressed or unmotivated. So, tips for listening. Always use headphones to feel the full 3D immersion. Find a quiet, comfortable space without interruptions. Sit or lie down, soften your body and breathe deeply. You can use a lighted candle as a visual anchor, but please, if you're going to light a candle, put it somewhere safe. You don't want to fall asleep and wake up with the room burning down around you. That would put a real dampener on the experience. So definitely don't do that. If you're going to use a lighted candle, please put it in something that is truly safe. Otherwise, you can always go to the YouTube that I created for this recording and there will be a link in the description, because the visual is a lighted candle and you can just watch the screen then. Really easy. Or if you want to use something like a bindu, you could always draw a black dot on a white piece of paper or card and stick it to the wall or stick it to a door, and then you just stare at it. A bindu can give you an incredibly powerful experience. It can give you some very nice visuals. Lastly, don't chase the experience. Let the sound meet you. Remember, if you feel drowsy at first, that's normal. Healing often begins as rest. Over time, as you align with the frequency, the sound brings energy, confidence, and focus. So don't give up. If you get a couple of minutes in and you go, I can't do it, well, that's okay. You could always stop, but don't come back to it at some stage. Don't totally give up. So the 92 Gamma Bowl feels like a healer and a coach rolled into one. First, it loosens the knots. Then it sharpens the mind. And that's what excites me about this work, how ancient sound tools and modern recording technology come together. Singing bowls have been guiding people for centuries, and now with ambisonic recording, we can now share the same depth of experience in the digital age. In a world full of noise, distraction, and stress, these sound baths feel like medicine, restoring clarity, presence, and creativity. And it's great to be able to be out in public, put on some headphones, sit down on a park bench, and have these wonderful experiences without having to cart around a bowl, pop it on your head, look like a bit of a dill, and start tapping away. You may not want to do that. So that's the story behind this week's sound bath, the 92 Gamma Tibetan Singing Bowl. In just a moment, I'll share a short sampler so you can experience a taste of this frequency for yourself. It runs for a couple of minutes, just enough to give you a feel for the atmosphere of the full session. If you'd like to go deeper, the complete 1 hour sound bath is waiting for you on YouTube, and you'll find a link in the description. So put on some headphones, settle in, and let yourself be immersed. And enjoy. And until next time, stay well and stay curious. See you soon.